If the grid goes down while you're living on the 10th floor, you face threats homeowners don't. But you don't need a bunker to survive. I'm going to show you how to stash 3 months of life-saving supplies in a 600 square foot apartment without your landlord or your neighbors ever knowing. We are turning your rental into a fortress. Let's be real. Most survival advice assumes you have a basement, a yard, or a barn to store 55-gallon drums of water. But for millions of us, prepping feels impossible because we're tripping over our own shoes in a small apartment. You have a landlord who inspects the place. You have nosy neighbors on the other side of a thin wall. You have zero closet space. But here's the reality. In a collapse, the city stops working first. Elevators die. Water pressure fails within hours because the municipal pumps need electricity to push water up to your floor. If you aren't prepared, you become a refugee in your own hallway. But here's the good news. Small spaces are easier to heat, easier to light, and easier to secure if you do it right. Today, we are covering the 9 dead zones in every apartment where you can hide gear, the $10 lock upgrade that stops kick-ins, and the noise discipline rules that keep you invisible. Listen to that. Is your door hollow core or solid wood? If you don't know the answer, you aren't safe yet. We'll fix that in Chapter 7. Chapter 1. The Vertical Trap. First, we have to understand the battlefield. An apartment building is a machine. It relies on electricity to pump water up, to bring elevators down, and to vent sewage out. When the grid fails, that machine breaks. In a house, you might have a water heater tank you can drain. In an apartment, you often don't. In a house, you can burn wood for heat. In an apartment, that kills you with carbon monoxide. You are living in a vertical trap. Your strategy must be different. You need density and secrecy. We apply the gray man theory not just to you, but to your home. Your apartment needs to look boring, broke, and empty to anyone who walks by, while inside you are sitting on 3 months of food and water. Chapter 2. The Furniture Pantry. Let's talk about calories. You don't have a root cellar. You need to use dual-purpose furniture. Item number 1. The storage ottoman. These things are gold. You can fit 50 cans of super beans inside a standard footstool. It sits in your living room. Guests put their feet on it, and nobody knows it's your survival pantry. Item number 2. The book gap. If you have bookshelves, pull the books forward to the edge of the shelf. There is usually 3 to 4 inches of dead space behind them. That is enough room to line up cans of tuna, pouches of freeze-dried food, or cash reserves. It's invisible unless someone physically removes the books. Look at your bookshelf right now. How much empty air are you storing? That air could be 20,000 calories. Item number 3. The false bottom planter. If you have large indoor plants, put your emergency items in a waterproof bag at the bottom of the pot. Put a plastic tray over it, and put the plant on top. You just turned a ficus tree into a supply cache. Chapter 3. Hidden hydration. Water is your biggest problem. It's heavy, and it takes up space. You need 1 gallon per person per day. For a month, that's 30 gallons. Where do you put 30 gallons in a studio? You put it under the bed. But don't just throw loose jugs there. They leak. Use flat underbed storage bins designed for clothes, but fill them with water bottles or water bricks. A queen-size bed can hide 40 gallons of water easily. But you need to respect physics. Water weighs 8 pounds per gallon. 50 gallons is 400 pounds. In a modern concrete high-rise, that's fine. In an old wooden walk-up, spread that weight out. Don't stack it all in one corner, or you might warp the floor and your landlord will definitely notice that. Also, use the sofa gap. Pull your couch 6 inches away from the wall. You won't notice the difference in the room, but you just created a 6-foot-long storage trench for water jugs. Cover it with a throw blanket. Invisible. Chapter 4. The Suitcase Hack. This is the ultimate gray man hack for renters. Suitcases. Most people have empty suitcases sitting in their closet taking up huge amounts of volume. That is wasted real estate. Fill those suitcases with your medical supplies, your extra warm clothes, and your backup food. Here is why this is genius. If your landlord comes in for an inspection, what do they see? Luggage. Totally normal. If you have to bug out because the building catches fire, you don't look like a crazy prepper running out with a tactical vest and ammo cans. You look like a traveler rolling a suitcase. You blend in. Be honest. Is your suitcase empty right now? If it is, you are paying rent for air. Fill it up. Chapter 5. Smell discipline. In an apartment complex, you share air. Vents connect units. Hallways trap odors. If the grid has been down for a week and everyone is starving and you decide to fry Spam or bacon, you are broadcasting a signal that says, I have food. You need smell discipline. In a crisis, you eat foods that require boiling water only. Freeze-dried meals, oatmeal, instant rice. These have almost no cooking odor. If you must cook something with a scent, do not use the kitchen vents. They often connect to other units. Seal the room. Use a thermos to cook so no vapor escapes. You want to be the neighbor who looks just as hungry as everyone else. Chapter 6. Sanitation without flushing. This is the gross part, but it saves your life. When the power dies in a high-rise, the water pumps die. If you flush your toilet, it's not going anywhere. Or worse, the sewage from the floors above you comes back up into your bathtub. Step 1. Tape down your toilet lid and plug your bathtub drain immediately when the grid goes down. Step 2. The bucket system. You need a 5-gallon bucket, heavy-duty contractor trash bags, and kitty litter or sawdust. You do your business in the bag, cover it with litter, seal it tight. Do not pour bleach into your bucket. It reacts with ammonia in urine and creates toxic gas. Use kitty litter to dry it out. Keep the bleach for cleaning surfaces. If you don't have a plan for this, your apartment becomes uninhabitable in 3 days due to disease and smell. This $5 bucket is more important than your rifle. Chapter 7. Apartment Hardening. Your front door is your only barrier, and apartment doors are notoriously weak. They use tiny half-inch screws in the strike plate. One kick and the wood splits. Go to the hardware store and buy 3-inch screws. Replace the screws in your strike plate and hinges one by one. These go deep into the stud frame of the wall, not just the door trim. It makes the door significantly harder to kick in. Your landlord won't notice, and you can take them with you when you move. Add a secondary mechanical lock like a portable door jammer or a security bar. These use physics to wedge the door shut from the floor. They withstand massive force and require zero installation. Chapter 8. Light and Noise Discipline. If the whole city is black and your window is glowing with LED light, you are a target. You need blackout curtains. In a pinch, use those heavy-duty trash bags and duct tape them over the windows. Inside, use red light. Most decent headlamps have a red mode. Red light doesn't travel as far as white light, and it preserves your night vision so you can see what's happening in the hallway. And keep it quiet. In a silent building, sound travels through floors. No loud radios. Use headphones. If you have a dog, you have to keep them calm. If your apartment sounds like a party, people will come knocking. Chapter 9. The Get Out Trigger. Finally, you need to know when to leave. An apartment is a great shelter until it's a trap. Add a secondary mechanical lock like a portable door jammer or a security bar. These use physics to wedge the door shut from the floor. They withstand massive force and require zero installation. Chapter 8. Light and Noise Discipline. If the whole city is black and your window is glowing with LED light, you are a target. You need blackout curtains. In a pinch, use those heavy-duty trash bags and duct tape them over the windows. Inside, use red light. Most decent headlamps have a red mode. Red light doesn't travel as far as white light, and it preserves your night vision so you can see what's happening in the hallway. And keep it quiet. In a silent building, sound travels through floors, no loud radios, use headphones. If you have a dog, you have to keep them calm. If your apartment sounds like a party, people will come knocking. Chapter 9. The Get Out Trigger. Finally, you need to know when to leave. An apartment is a great shelter until it's a trap.